325 pounds, 48-inch waist, and I'm looking at myself saying, man, I got to do something or I'm going to end up being one of these people in this hospital. And all the doctors and nurses were telling me, they were like, yep, Mark, you got to lose some weight. But they said, most of these people are in here because of their diet. And they said, you've got to get that saturated fat and that cholesterol down. And I told the doctors, I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go 40 days without any red meat. And they were like, yeah, go for it. So that's what I did. I went 40 days without any red meat. Now, the first 5 days was pretty rough. I mean, I was like, man, I don't think I can do this. But I stuck to it. The next 30 days I was fine, had no cravings for red meat. And then all of a sudden, the last 5 days, I started craving red meat again. And I'm like, how is this? I just went 35 days without any red meat. Now I'm going to crave a hamburger? And the closer it got to my 40 days being up, the more I was craving it. One day left, I'm calling my friends saying, hey, we're hitting the prime rib buffets. And I'll be there tomorrow having a prime rib, well, a buffet. I won't have the prime rib though. You got great buffets. I love buffets because you can eat very healthy at buffets. So we're going to do that Tuesday. But I couldn't figure out the problem. How after 40 days could I be craving red meat this much? And I figured out the problem. Well, actually, I figured out the solution, okay? And that is that we need to make sure that our minds are in control of our bodies instead of our bodies being in control of our minds. Amen? See, this is what's going on out there. People are giving in to their bodily cravings in more ways than one, but especially when it comes to food. They just give the body whatever the body wants, and then they wonder why we're so unhealthy. We need to make sure that the intelligent part of our body is making those good choices on a daily basis. And I'll tell you what, it was funny. Dr. Suresh, he comes up to me and says, Mark, I won $100 off you this week. It's Vegas. You know, they gamble on anything. And so the doctor, he says, Mark, you got to get off the milk and cheese. In fact, I think the last time I was here, we did a class on milk and cheese. Yeah. So I won't give you, it's a whole 2-hour class. You're not getting that today. Framingham Medical Studies, though. Framingham Medical Studies. No, I'm sorry, Cornell University. Cornell University, they said, if you're going vegetarian, so you're not eating any meats, but you're consuming milk and cheese, they said that's like going from 60 cigarettes a day down to 50 cigarettes a day. So you're really not doing your body that much good. You're actually better off getting off the milk and cheese. Now that's Cornell University's quote. And so I told the doctor, I said, I'll tell you what, doc. I said, I'm going to go all vegan, no animal products whatsoever. And he's like, yeah, go for it. And so that's what I did. I went all vegan, plant strong. But this time, I did not put that block wall out there 40 days later for me to run into again. I said, I'm just going to get on this path and keep taking steps. If you run into a stumbling block, turn it into a stepping stone, okay, and keep taking steps. And let me tell you, within a couple weeks, I started feeling better. Within a month, I was like, man, I'm losing weight, hitting a new hole in my belt loop. You know, that's when you really start getting excited. That's when I really started going to town, really doing a lot of homework. And in fact, here, I got my blood test here. I did not have this the last time I was here. Here's your living proof right here. 60 pounds difference in between these two tests. A couple years here. And my cholesterol used to be at 263. Probably well over 300, but I was already getting healthy, you know. But I'm giving you the actual results. 263 cholesterol, now it's at 118. Wow. Triglycerides were at 274. Now they're at 91. Wow. HDL went up the way it was supposed to. LDL went down. H for higher, L for lower. HDL, well, LDL, what is it here? LDL went from 159 down to 59, like down 100 points. I mean, everything was perfect on here. Calcium, 9.2. Actually, on the high side, doctor says, you're eating a lot of salads, aren't you? I was like, yeah, every day. That's where you get your calcium. Eat those greens, especially the darker greens, you know. And let me tell you, nobody's going to have a problem not getting enough calcium, okay? It doesn't happen, you know. And Now every body is a little bit different, okay, but 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 100,000 might have a problem, but too much calcium causes osteoporosis. Milk and cheese is one of the causes of osteoporosis. And you'll still hear these commercials with the lady selling Boniva, and she says, make sure you drink lots of milk and eat lots of cheese. She's telling you to consume the drug, or the food that causes the disease that she's selling you the drug for. Right in the same 30-second commercial. It's like, protein, 7.0. Exactly where it was supposed to be, according to their standards. 7.0. And having no animal products whatsoever. And how people are always like, where am I going to get my protein, right? That's like the biggest myth in the society. Where am I going to get my protein? Got to have lots of protein. Baked potatoes, 3.9 grams of protein. Peas have 9 grams. Lentils, 16 grams of protein. All your beans are strong protein. Broccoli, 5.8 grams of protein. Pound for pound, broccoli has more protein than steak.
Wow.
Now, it does take a lot of broccoli to make a pound, right? It's pretty lightweight, but pound for pound, yeah. Spinach is at 5.4, brown rice is at 4.8. Even a banana has 1.2 grams of protein. Let me tell you, type 2 diabetics. 65% of type 2 diabetics, that's a pretty big chunk there, get permanent nerve disease and amputations. 65%. You get to chop off your toes, and then your foot, and then your leg, and at the knee, and 65%. 20,000 people a year lose their eyesight just from type 2 diabetes. And 75% die of heart disease or stroke. I mean, it is just horrible, when it's preventable. That's the sad part about it. Now, I was low on one thing on my blood test. B12. I was low on B12. It was in the right zone at 329, but my doctor says he wants it up there closer to 1,000. And so I do take a B12 supplement every day. Now, interestingly enough, though, I do my homework, found out that B12, 50 years ago, 75 years ago, nobody had B12 deficiencies like they do today. So my question is, why do people have B12 deficiencies today? Even healthy, vegan, plant-strong eaters did not have B12 deficiencies. And the reason we have B12 deficiencies today is because we're washing our food too much. Yeah. I know, I understand the argument, okay? I know you got to wash your food, okay? But B12 is a bacteria that grows on rooted plants. So that's why I did not peel these potatoes and these carrots. I want those nutrients. Back years ago, Mom and Pop, they just chop up the food and throw it in the pot. They weren't all paranoid, peeling and scrubbing everything. And in fact, I've had 2 farmers that the minute they retired, they ended up with B12 deficiencies. Never had B12 deficiencies because they're working in the dirt. Yeah, but kids that play in the dirt are far healthier than kids that play on the computer. And because it absorbs into their skin. And there's studies out there that they know that those kids that play in the dirt end up having a better immune system for the rest of their life. It's that important to get the kids playing outside. Lock the door and hide their iPad, and get them out there playing. So it is important. I can tell you all the bad stuff that's going on out there, but I've got to give you some strategies on what you can do to live a healthier life. And the first thing you want to do is have your biggest meal for breakfast. Okay, biggest meal for breakfast, a smaller lunch, and then a smaller dinner. And when you do this, it does a couple really important things for you. The first thing it does, you're not going to be hungry all day long. When you eat nothing for breakfast, you're starving yourself all day. So you have to have bigger meals and bigger meals. Then you have your biggest meal before you go to bed. That don't make sense. And you actually eat way too much food that way. And let me tell you, here in America, we just eat way too much. So you have your biggest meal for breakfast. you're going to eat a lot less. That's going to save you a lot of calories for one. So that helps weight control. It's going to save you money because you're eating less, right? And the biggest thing is when you have your biggest meal for breakfast, you're going to have more energy throughout the day. I have more energy now than I did back when I was in my 20s. And when you have more energy, you're more active. Now that's going to help weight loss, weight control, because you're more active, burning calories. But you also end up having better muscle tone, better joints, better ligaments, and that's what helps give you a healthier, more vibrant life into your older years. Let me tell you, it is a win-win-win in every way, shape, and form to have that biggest meal for breakfast. Or from cancer. And my parents fed us bacon and eggs every morning. Hamburger helper, hamburgers, pork chops, chicken, ice cream, cheese, milk. That's what we ate every day. So I'm really thankful that God showed me a better way to eat. But my brother Paul, let me tell you, he was white as a ghost. I mean, just looked horrible. And I put him on an all-vegan lifestyle for 3 weeks. His cholesterol was at 900 when I got there. We did a cholesterol check. 3 weeks later, his cholesterol was at 300 and change. Wow. He felt better. He had color back in his skin. He's like, wow, this really works. And I said, yeah. I said, I lost 60 pounds at the time. I said, let me tell you, this works. And I said, here's what we're going to do. The first day I was there, I made him throw out everything that was unhealthy. Oh, he was mad.
You were killing him.
He was throwing out pizzas and blocks of cheese and salami and chips. And I mean, I made him throw out everything. We had trash bags full. And he was mad about it, but he told me not too long ago, he says he never forgot that day he threw out his hard-earned dollars. So it was kind of significant. I told him, I said, I'm going to replace everything. We're going to get your whole kitchen designed for success. You got to have a kitchen that's designed for success. If everything in your kitchen is unhealthy, and you bring home a carrot, how long is it going to be in there? Until it turns rotten and black and moldy or what? And so you've got to have a kitchen designed for success. Now, I took his refrigerator, turned it into a full-blown salad bar. You know, and you just rotate things like a restaurant does. You know, fruits and vegetables, and I showed him how to make chickpea salads and tofu egg salad and things that you can get really fast. You got to have stuff in your kitchen, hummus and things that you can just grab and go, because we're in a fast-paced world. And now when you bring home groceries, and you bring home that produce from the grocery store, wash it before it goes in the fridge. Most people don't do that. And if you don't do that, you're going to end up going, oh, I don't want to mess with it. I got to wash it, I gotta cut it, I gotta clean it, I gotta, oh wait, potato chips. But then I started reading the fine print. And let me tell you, read a bag of potato chips, 0% cholesterol, and then it's made with milk and whey and cheddar and cream and all these animal products. So I finally said, that's it. I started buying raisins and craisins and nuts and almonds and pecans and, you know, peanuts and make my own blends for snacking. And I found out I would have went through at least $50 worth of potato chips before I go through a $10 jar of nuts. Saves me money, I'm snacking better. I'm not a big snacker anyway. I used to be, you know, but now my meal times are very scheduled. I just don't have that hunger to have to eat all the time like I used to. So I guess that takes time to change too. But you don't want to eat the Planters dry roasted peanuts because these are now made with pork.
What?
New label, even though it's been out for 2 years. The old label used to say peanuts, peanut oil, and sea salt.
Right.
New label, peanuts, sea salt, sugar, MSG now. It's got your gelatin in it, which is your pork gelatin. If it says K gelatin, then it's kosher. You'll see it on like yogurts, it'll say K gelatin. That means it's made with seaweed or beef bones or something. And then this one still has about 10 more ingredients on it. Even though the front still says made with pure sea salt.
Oh, that's healthy.
Yeah, even though there's 15 ingredients. This is what they get away with. Hormel chili. 98% fat-free. Here comes the selling tactics, right? Always on the front. 27% cholesterol, 51% sodium, 2 portions in a can, you got to look at portion sizes. They're really manipulating portion sizes. We had a bag of potato chips. 7 chips was a portion. It's like 1 bite. But they can say numbers. But this one right here is actually made with anchovies and sardines.
Wow.
Well, if you like anchovies with your peanut butter sandwich, it's already in there, so it'll save you a step or something, but yeah, that's what it's made with. And you gotta get this. Here's where we get serious. Calories is 190, calories from fat is 140. So this is 75% calories from fat. This is 70% calories from fat.
Wow.
These are weight gainers. They activate the liver to produce more cholesterol. That's what oil does. And the best doctors in the world will tell you that your calories from fat on a daily consumption should be at 5%, less than 10%. Once in a while I'll get some people that are up to 15%. But bottom line is if you're eating stuff that's 75%, 100% calories from fat, those are weight gainers. They activate the liver to produce more cholesterol. And this is your type 2 diabetes. You know, most people don't understand this, but even doctors don't realize. They've been trained for years to believe that type 2 diabetes is a sugar problem. And it's a carb problem. It's not. It's a fat problem. And if you eliminate the fats, you will eliminate type 2 diabetes. Which means get rid of the animal products that we're getting bombarded with and get rid of all these fats and oils. And usually within 2 to 3 weeks, you're completely off your meds. The best book out there would be called Reversing Diabetes by, I can't think of his name. Neil Barnard. Thank you. Did you know that one? Who worked for Meijer's grocery stores. Their job was to make all their food addictive and make sure it had long shelf life with whatever chemicals they had to use. But they found out that there's an exact combination of sugar, oil, and salt. And if you get that exact combination of sugar, oil, and salt on any product, it will trigger your endorphins to desire that product, even if all you do is see a picture of that food a month later. That's how addictive they can make the food nowadays. That's why they change the labels, you know, and that's why you're getting bombarded by oil. So it's not the fact that you put a little olive oil on a salad or you did a little saute once in a while. It's the fact that you're getting bombarded by this. National average on oil, just vegetable oil alone, not counting coconut oil and olive oil and all the animal fat, just vegetable oil alone, national average is 10 pounds per person per month. That's about 6 quarts, about 1.5 gallons of oil every month. It ends up being 43,000 calories a month just in oil, 12,000 calories a day that the average person consumes just in oil alone. Now, if you were here yesterday, you got to see all the little goodies out there.
Yeah. I saw that.
Did some of you get the German chocolate mousse cake?
No.
Yes, I did.
To show us.
Calories, this is servings per container is 1. Calories is 880. Calories from fat is 630.
Whoa.
So according to a lot of doctors out there, this would contain all the calories, even if it's good calories, good fat, you know, olive oil, coconut oil, and this has coconut oil in it. That is your calorie consumption for the entire week,
day. Ooh,
all
wow.
in one little dessert. You'll see me on the television programs, and we're just remodeling our website too. So we've got a whole new website coming up that's going to have all these, you know, scientific facts running through it and stuff. Okay, so we've got our potatoes and carrots in here. We're going to do some garlic and onion. So what is it? 1 part garlic, 2 parts onion, something like that. Should be close enough.
2 to 1 something.
This is nutritional yeast flakes, derivative of molasses, high in B12. My wife puts, I got it. Popcorn. She puts this on popcorn all the time.
Really?
Okay, hot air pop popcorn. If I did hot air pop popcorn with nothing on it, nobody's going to want to eat it.
Right.
But if I put salt on it, just salt, nothing else, you're still not going to be too happy with it. If I took hot air popcorn and put nothing but olive oil on it, you'd be like, what is this? Now, if we did salt and oil, like that salted butter, oh man, you'll be picking out every little piece. Oh, there's another one. I got it. You know, look in the bowl kind of thing. And if we did the kettle corn with the sugar, oil, and salt,
It's nasty.
you'll go down to the grocery store to buy another bag at midnight because it's that addictive. So look for those triggers. When you see that sugar, oil, and salt on different labels and stuff, you know it's designed for addiction. Even here, they're using the nut as the oil.
Right.
So yeah, that's just the way it works. So, all right, what else do we need here? McKay's chicken style seasoning. I like this one. It's a vegan chicken style seasoning. It's all vegan. There's a couple of them out there. Better Than Bouillon has a paste at Whole Foods, which is really good. In fact, it's in regular grocery stores now too. And then we're just going to put this potato juice water in here. And hopefully I can do this right the first time. Let me see here. Oh yeah, I think I just need a little more water this time. We'll find out. Okay. Look. Now this is going to take about 1 minute to blend. So here we go. Add green chilies, add salsas, soups. You can make potato cheese soup, broccoli cheese soup. Let's say you want to make macaroni and cheese. Take cooked macaroni, add this to it, boom, you're done. You can add breadcrumbs and toast it if you want. And, you know, I mean, this is just such a fabulous recipe. You are going to love it. Now, if you freeze this, when you thaw it out, you're going to see some water separation. So you either have to re-blend it or just take a wire whip when it's heating up and just give it a wire whip. If you refrigerate it, you don't have that problem. It'll just melt right back down into cheese. And we've had it in the fridge for weeks without a problem. I don't recommend that because I don't know how cold your refrigerators are. But the bottom line is it's a very durable product. It's just potatoes and carrots, so it's really durable. Here's our Boulder wheat, steaming hot, ready to go. You can cool this off and put it in baggies and freeze it. What you want to do is go to my website, then click over to my YouTube channel on the front page of my website, and you can, and I have videos how to set up your refrigerator, how to set up your freezer, your cupboards, things like that, so you can really have success there. So yeah, we'll have a bowl of soup right here, and then we add the Boulder wheat. So this would be called a 2-component soup, which means you get $20 for it in a restaurant. Well, yeah. 3-component, if I add peppers to it, then I get $25. 4-component. That's what restaurants do to take a relatively inexpensive soup and get top dollar for it. Yeah. All right, let me chop up this watermelon real quick here. Getting to the end of the season here for watermelons. I look for heavy, solid watermelons, heavy and solid. Push in the stems, make sure that they're not squishy. That means it's overripe on the inside. Now my mom, she didn't get too many watermelons either. She was always like, oh, they're just so heavy. She did not want to carry them home from the grocery store. I remember those days. And of course we had a wagon. We always had a little wagon. But yeah, we carried our groceries home. Or she'd be like, they just take up so much room in the fridge and they're so tough to cut. I was like, come here, Mom, let me show you how to cut a watermelon. Now you'll notice too, anytime I cut something up here, I get rid of whatever I'm not going to use. So the only thing left on the cutting board is what I'm actually going to serve. And it just keeps a clean environment. And once you cut it in half and lay it flat, now it's really easy to handle. We'll just do a couple slices this way. Of course, if you're going to do this at home, don't put your hand on this side. Keep your hand on top so you don't go cutting your fingers off. And then you do some slices on the top. Basically, we're just doing a checkerboard here. And you can make these slices as big or as small as you want. Then you go this way. Just like that. And literally, in 1 minute, you got your entire watermelon cut up. How's that? Easy enough for you?
Wow.
I should have been a cook. I didn't know I was a scientist. Thus, God regards the preparation of healthful food. He places high estimate on those who do faithful service in preparing wholesome, palatable food. And the ones who understand the art of properly preparing food and who use this knowledge are worthy of higher commendations than those engaged in any other line of work. So if you're doing the cooking at home, you just got a raise. Well, think about it. Biggest meal for breakfast, you're eating less, right? Saving you money. Plus, breakfast is the least expensive meal of the day. You go out for lunch, it's more expensive, right? Dinner's like way more expensive. So you might as well have your biggest consumptions during the least expensive items to consume. And if you're eating the potatoes and the beans and the rice and the starches and the carbs like you're supposed to, you're going to save money because that's the least expensive products. But Hans Deal with the CHIP program, I don't know if any of you know the CHIP program. Hans Deal did studies with 100,000 cases, found out the average savings of a Western meat-eating diet person who goes on a healthy, plant-strong lifestyle, the average savings is 40%. Yeah, 40%. I mean, you're going to save a ton of money. You will. And she continues here, this is because it is so inseparably connected with life and health that cooking is the most valuable of all gifts. And the reason I point this out is because what did the devil go after with Adam and Eve? Anybody know?
Appetite.
Appetite, food, apples, okay.
Chocolate. Apples.
Chocolate? Chocolate is a vegetarian, vegan item, right? Yeah. Well, interestingly enough, Satan goes after the body. Because Satan knows first you get the body, then you get the mind, and then you get the spirit. Now, how many times have we heard that phrase before? Body, mind, and spirit. It's in that exact order. He's going after our kids' bodies before they're even of age to make a decision. He's attacking them with the animal fats, the chemicals nowadays. Pesticides, GMOs now. Who knows what's going to happen with those? But, I mean, he was attacking our bodies before we were ever even born. He's attacking the body because he knows the progression. So all we're doing is reversing the process. When you start getting healthier physically, then you're going to start getting healthier mentally, and then you're going to have a better connection with God.
Amen.
It is all connected in such a mighty way. Framingham Medical Studies, they were doing the studies on the animal fat on the blood cells and found out if you get that animal fat off your blood cells, then your blood gets the right amount of oxygen it needs. That's your filtering system. That's what helps filter out all these harmful particles that we get every day in our body. Could ever do. In fact, 70% of your diet should be in starches. Now you're thinking, that's crazy talk, right?
Let me record that for my husband.
70%. There's a book on the back of the flyer called the Starch Solution. And Dr. McDougall shows how you need 70% of your diet in starches. There's another book on the back called the Low Carb Myth. And the Low Carb Myth has 490 sources, scientific studies showing how you need to eat more carbs. At least a dozen doctors now, based on nutrition, why would you tell anybody to eliminate carbs? Not one has had an answer. They just kind of look dumbfounded. They do. And it's like, the only reason they do that is, if you're a diabetic, we've got to control your carb count. Or if, and that's about it. That's the only reason. But yeah, you've got to have the right carbs, okay? You got to eat the potato, not the potato chip. There's a big difference between a complex carb and they tell people to get off carbs for weight loss, right? Okay, weight loss. If you eliminate carbs, yeah, you're going to lose weight. But if you eliminate oils, you're going to lose weight. If you eliminate sugars, you're going to lose weight. Every single diet on the planet has some form of food restriction, which creates calorie restriction. And that's the only way you're going to lose weight. You got to have more calories going out in energy than you do going in. It's just that simple. The problem here is the people that go on the low carb, no carb diets actually have the highest heart disease of anybody by far. And it's the people that are going on the low fat, low oil diets that are the healthiest. And even if you look at some of these carbs here, quinoa, 21% carbs, bananas, 23% carbs, apples is 15%, potatoes, 20%, oats, 66% carbs, beets is 10%, oranges 14%, blueberries 14% carbs. Are you telling me I'm not supposed to eat these healthy foods? See, but we just hear it all the time. Virginia Marcos.
Very healthy.
And last two. Ruby Ferguson. And one more. Christine Jones. Okay. Yeah, this right here, this is actually my corn-free, soy-free, gluten-free, sugar-free, calorie-free cookbook.